Does your lower back hurt when you play pickleball? While it's great to have an excuse for every missed drop shot, it's not so great when it's actually limiting your game. So let's go over some basic core strengthening exercises as well as some more advanced exercises to actually help with pickleball. The thing about the core, it's not just one specific muscle. You actually want to strengthen all the muscles in a 360-degree cylinder around the spine. So we want to get the front, the sides, and the back. And to do this, we can use the exercises such as a plank, a side plank, and a glute bridge. The plank focuses on the muscles on the front of the core, which is mainly your abdominal muscles. To perform, you'll start with your elbows underneath your shoulders, and then you want to lift your hips up so that there's a straight line between your shoulders, your hips, and your ankles. And then you generally want to hold this position for 10 seconds and repeat for 3 to 6 repetitions. The side plank obviously focuses on the muscles on the side of the core. This is mainly going to be your obliques, your quadratus lumborum, and your glute med muscle. To perform, we're going to start with one elbow underneath the shoulder, and then for an easier variation, we can start with the knee on the ground, or for a longer lever, we can have our feet on the ground. Then we want to lift our hip up off the ground as high as you can go, again holding this position for 10 seconds, and then repeating for 3 to 6 repetitions on each side. And then finally is a glute bridge, and as the name implies, it focuses on the glutes, but it also focuses on the back extensor muscles, which are particularly important for work at the kitchen line because you're bent over and these muscles actually hold you up. So to perform the glute bridge, you're going to start by lying on your back with your feet flat on the floor, and then we want to lift our hips up as high as you can go so there's a straight line between the knees, the hips, and the shoulders. For this, we're actually just going to do reps, typically somewhere between 10 to 15 reps for 2 to 3 sets. These 3 exercises are a great starting place, especially if you're rehabbing from lower back pain because they focus on all the muscles around the spine. However, if we look at the demands of pickleball, pickleball is a dynamic sport. Whether you're reaching for a dink or you're driving from the baseline, you actually need a lot of rotational power. So these exercises that we're going to progress to are going to start to incorporate a little bit more movement to match the demands of pickleball. The peel-off press is a great exercise here because it's very scalable. We can change the demands of the exercise to match some of the things that we need for pickleball. For the basic peel-off press, we want to start in an athletic stance. So we want to have our feet about shoulder width apart and then our knees slightly bent. We'll have an exercise band attached over to our side. We'll start with our hands at our sternum, and then what we want to do is we want to press our hands straight out in front of us. What's going to happen here is that the band is going to try to pull us towards the anchor point, and we want to resist that movement. So we want to think about this exercise as an anti-rotation exercise. Then slowly bring the hands back to your chest and then repeat that movement for 2 to 3 sets of 10 reps. And once you're comfortable with that, we can add some rotation. So we want to rotate our body about 45 degrees and then press our hands out to the side and then slowly back. Additionally, we can also go up and down to mimic some of those different movements that we're going to do when playing pickleball, whether we're hitting an overhead or if we're reaching for a dink. And of course, we want to make sure that we do this on both sides, so we're working both forehand variations and backhand variations. The next 2 exercises are the chop and lift. For the chop, we want to have the exercise band anchored up high. Whatever knee is closest to the anchor point, that one's also going to be the one that is up. And then we want to start with our hands close to the anchor point and then pull across our body down to the opposite hip. And so this is a great exercise for when we're looking at volleys and overhead movements because they're mimicking that same movement pattern. Initially, we want to perform these slowly to build up strength, but we can also increase our speed of these movements to mimic some of those faster movements. And then the lift is essentially the opposite of the chop. So we'll now have the exercise band anchored towards the ground. Our knee closest to the anchor point will be on the floor. And then starting with our hands close to the ground, we want to pull across our body and finish above our opposite shoulder. And so this is going to mimic more of our drive. So we start in that low position, and then as we brush up through the ball, we'll finish with our hand above our shoulder. Again, we want to perform these slowly at first to help build up the strength and then add speed. So hopefully this video helped if you were looking for some exercises for lower back pain, or if you were looking for some exercise to help prevent lower back pain while playing pickleball. If you have another pickleball injury, let me know in the comments for what my next video should be. And if you want to see more of the content, go ahead and subscribe to the channel right here.